Alright, how's everyone doing? Hope you're all good. So, I thought I'd bring out my 3 Traxxas Slash. The one with the tribal body there. That's the Traxxas Slash 4x4 high centre of gravity chassis, which was originally on this car, and this car is a low centre of gravity chassis slash 4x4 I bought from Seb RC up in Leeds, north of England. And this is a Traxxas Slash 4x4 high centre of gravity chassis that's converted into a back slash, which is basically a buggy slash. So that is running has a 4S system, that has a 4S system, that has a 6S system. Alright, let me just take off the bodies and I'll show you what's going on underneath. Just as I do that, difference with the bodies. This one prone line mounts, this one's just got body clips, and this one's got a weird ingenious single screw body mount velcro type stuff going on. So I've made a piece of plastic fit on the back of this tower, and these are XO1 towers. That comes off there. A couple of bits of velcro on the back. Let's hold that down. A bit of velcro on the top. Off comes the body. You can see the little bits of velcro. That's where it screws into. So I've just made a piece of plastic, made a bracket, stuck it on there. It's just got a screw going through there. eRevo shocks. eRevo Castle Mamba Monster 2 ESC. And the 2200 kV motor. It also has a Techno center drive shaft, extended battery tray, i.e. this pillar here is taller and the rear to allow for both dual brackets, so I can put the longer or taller one on. It's got Savox servo and RPM arms all round, Traxxas hubs. I have the 17mm wheel adapters on there to put on 17mm wheels. I've got the hot racing anti-roll bars front and rear on this. eRevo rear wing. Rear spoiler from a Rustler. What else? Yes, Rustler extreme heavy duty drive shafts, plastic ones. Did have metal ones, but I broke them. I've put metal rear arms on this just because I needed some more weight in the rear. And if I flip her upside down, and you can have a look underneath what's going on here, you can see an Interg rear lower bulkhead and front bulkhead, and bell crank assemblies, alloy, RPM front bumper, note teller light, T-bone racing front bumper, get that right. Yeah, so there's pretty much all the mods, and the suspension with the eRevo shocks is nice and stiff for road use. I use the Proline dual rate taller shocks for when I'm off-roading it or using it for non-track use, and I put on the wheels that are on this because this has got 17mm adapters, and they are these Fast Tracks. There you go, Fast Tracks 1/8 pre-mounted buggy tires, rock block. They basically look like Badlands, and these ones, as you can see, are a little bit on the worn side. They've had a bit of use and they've not done too bad. They haven't exploded or ripped off the rim yet. I have had many crashes and jumps with it. I will be trying out a set of these really cheap Venom 114 road tyres. They've got like a road tread on them, so I'm not going to expect a lot of with them. These things pretty much are slick now. They did actually have a tread on them, but driving it the way I do, I've destroyed that. What else have we done to this? That's pretty much it, apart from the gearing, which is a 2250 hot racing steel spur gear. I think that's pretty much it. And that's the backslash. And this bad boy with the extended tray, I can put 2 3S batteries side by side, and if I just go get some quickly. All right, there's some 3S batteries. So if you look, Traxxas 3S, 3-cell, 5,000 milliamps. So I'm just going to put them side by side, push them in there. So they are now inside. You can see that side and that side within that. So this is the high center of gravity chassis. As you can see there. So I've not checked it in the other one. Get it just right. Try and do this one-handed, which is a bit of a fail. Want a little bit of room. So it comes with originally this one that says 25mm and 23mm, I think it is. Yeah, 23 and 25. That's what they come with. And this is the extended one, which says 29 on this side and 20 on this side. This pillar is a little bit taller. Now, if I quickly show you this one, which is, I'll show you that in a second. We'll come back to that. We'll just undo the body clips quickly. I've got a couple of O-rings I've just stuck on there so I can grab them easier. Okay, we'll do that in a second. Just plug in these batteries quickly, but mainly showing you this 29mm thing. Sticker in there. I'll do this one-handed, which I shouldn't do really. It's terrible. There we go. Come on, in you go. Right, there we go. It's already in there. So once it's in there, push that to there. If you see, it just about sits on there beautifully. If I push that down, you can see the little holes appeared so that I can just put the clip in there. So we'll just do that now quickly. Do it all one-handed just to show you it's not massively pushing on. Oh, there we go. On the assembly there. Has it? No, it's not all the way through yet. A little bit more. Push a little bit more. Yep, there we are. So that's on there. That's not really coming out, but there is the potential this could come out. So I'd be inclined to maybe put some insulation tape, electrical tape around the two of them if you were maybe going to bash it. But since I road use this, I've tumbled with it and they've not come flying out. Maybe if you did a speed run and a heavy crash, it'd come out, but that's going to happen anyway. I've got Velcro straps on these, which I normally Velcro around the brackets. And then when I connect my connectors, they're not flailing around everywhere. That's why there's one already on that one. And that's basically the power system that I use for this thing. And just pause it. So I was going to connect a switch because I was getting a bit annoyed with turning it off and on all the time. So I'm just going to connect this by hand. That way around, I think it is. Yeah. Come on. Get in there. Turn that around. Line that. Fails. So it's looking for a signal because I haven't turned the controller on. If I turn the controller on that I've got in my hand, there we go. So that's 6S. And quick little. I'll destroy the wheels. There we go. Noisy bugger fan. Right, there we go. 6S beast. Backslash. Right, let's turn that off. We'll do the others. Right. So that's the extended battery tray. It comes with that back piece, that longer piece, and this bracket here. And that's for the high center of gravity chassis. Low center of gravity, slightly different. So we'll just put you over here. Put that back on just roughly there. Make sure I don't lose anything. We'll just leave it all there. Right, this bad boy. This is Seb RC's old car. I'll take the body off. As you can see, I've just got LEDs all around it. Proline Fusion Flowtech body, which is really solid compared to flimsy Lexan there. This was the original body it came with, which he shoe glued and drywall taped, or as we call it, plasterboard taped. But you can see where I've already shaved off some of bits of it and broken it quite a lot. It's had quite a lot of damage, but with the shoe gluing stuff he did, it definitely has lasted longer. So a few changes to from when I got it. He did have spares with it, but so far out of the spares I've not really had to use many of them. I think I've still got almost all of them still in the bag, except for two things, which were the actual CVD axles. And as you can see, they have the XO1 or the upgraded Traxxas CVDs. I put the Traxxas anti-roll bars on it. Changed the bumper up. It did have the RPM one on. No, I mean, it didn't have the RPM one on, so I just put that on from the other one, from that car. So I've been switching stuff around, but basically this has got RPM body mounts, not Proline body mounts. Hobby Wing Max 10 SCT 4S capable ESC with a 3660, easy run 3200 kV motor, Ultra Shocks, metal hubs. What else? Yeah, he did have solid links at the front, which I took them back off. I've just put them on temporarily. This is the extended battery tray for this low center of gravity chassis, and the problem is got the 29mm bar in there, the upper, press that to release it, and it has the lower tabs. Now if I want to put it in the lower one there, well, that doesn't line up. It's now diagonal. Alright, so I don't like that. So if I, let's say, try to flip it upside down, stick it that way around, it will do that, which is there. So that's all it will do, that way around or the other way around. On the high center of gravity, I can actually go and use the lower sections. So yes, that is RPM front and rear bumpers, RPM arms all round, RPM wheelie bar on it, Techno Center drive shaft. I've got the Traxxas 2075X metal geared servo in there. It's got the RPM skid plate at the bottom there. And yeah, and that's basically that one. So this one runs 4S. As you can see with that battery tray that's in there, I can use various batteries to put in there. And this one has lighting, so let's give this one a quick little power up. Okay, so I've got battery in there now. So there's a pretty big 4S in there, 5000 Carnegie. And if I just turn the controller off, which I should have done ages ago, turn it back on, hopefully it will connect to this car. I'm not too sure whether I've bound this controller to this. Yeah, so let's turn that on. Nope, isn't connected to this. Oh, hang on, turn it on. Nope, I don't think it is. Not bound to this controller. I have so many controllers, not bound to this one. Alright then. At least you can see the headlights. There's their lights. Right, let's get the rest of the lights, and they are powered by, from the receiver, there's a little extension I've made, which then connects to this connector here, and I've hot melt glued it into the places where it needs to be, so it's not going anywhere. Right, let's put it on the bottom. So right, let's turn it on. Can't get to it. There we go. I've got to get to its rear. I can't get to it. Let's do that. There we go. You can see all the lightings as it started to set a little the sun. There we go. Body's back on. So that's what that bad boy looks like. You see it's running slash wheels. Right, now onto the other one. Alright, now to do a little motor size comparison quickly. See the Hobbywing motor there, and if we look at it, compare it to the size of the Traxxas motor, look at the size of that big boy. That one's a lot thicker and longer. This one's thicker than that, same thickness as that, but not as long. So this is the 2650 and that's the 2200 kV motor. And this is the VXL 4S ESC. You can see that big boy in there. Extended battery tray to allow me to have bigger batteries in this one. So I also use that big 4S in here, and other 4S batteries I put in here too. I also run it on 3S, which is what's sitting in this one right now. And I've got the 20 kilo HD servo in there, Proline body mounts. This has RPM arms front and rear. I've got the anti-roll bars, hot racing ones I've put on here. I've put the Stampede or Rustler arm guard, shock guard thingies. Can't remember what they're called. So that's those on there, front and rear, that I've put on. Just to give it some protection, because I bash with this one more in rocky and off-road ground. Everything else is pretty much stock, apart from the upgraded slipper clutch assembly, which is from, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a solid upgraded one, and I will put, hopefully at some point I will find out what it is and I'll put it up there. I cannot remember for the life of me the name of it right now. I've changed the shocks, so I've put the springs from the rear on the front, and the rear ones, they are stiffer by 10%. I have increased the diff fluids in this one, in the rear, a lot more in this one, in this rear, a little bit in the rear. That one's pretty much not exactly free, but it's not locked. You can see there's some good rotation. This one on the other hand, this one's fairly locked, whereas this one is really locked. And that's the combo. Pretty straightforward, high center of gravity chassis, a little bit of modification, just cutting of a little bit of plastic under here to sit this down, using the existing screw holes in the chassis to mount the VXL 4S ESC, which fits in there beautifully. Running on 3S is amazing with that 2650 motor, but it's very heavy, but I will change that out. Now under that motor I've put a little piece of neoprene underneath, just under where the motor is, sits just under there and along there, so when this bounces, that weak motor mount isn't going to bend. Similarly, this one has a plate underneath it and the temperature sensor, so that's not going anywhere. And this one again, I've done the same thing, and I've put like a little piece of neoprene. It's probably about 2 mil, 2.5 mil, maximum 3 mil thick. Just a little piece of it. Don't want to put too much because I want to make sure the heat will get out of this, and just underneath that. But the sheer size of it means it has that potential to wobble, because the whole bracket's wobbling. Yeah, that motor's really quite long, whereas the bracket on that one does not move at all. So over time this one's gotten a little bit soft. Just remembered what's different about this one. This has the, so many things that are on this that I cannot remember on some of these. So there's things like I said, the Techno drive shaft. It's got the Traxxas alloy mount housing assembly there. It has the RPM side bars, Nerf bars on this one. Dibby dibby dibby. I look around and I spot different things. I'm like, oh yeah, it's got that. Oh yeah, it's got that. And I forget about the other things it's got. So with this one, I cannot remember the gearing. I think it's an 1856 in here. And this one, and that's a plastic spur in there. This one's metal and is a 2054. So that's the torque of the motor. And that's really, really quiet, a bit noisy. So that's why this one's been set up more for road use. I've only put that body on for fun, but I've actually got a Proline Fusion Flowtech, not hard body, for this, which will go on there for a road run. I'll put that on. And this one is pretty much using that buggy body and just runs as a race, on-road race car. And this is more slight off-road, but mainly on-road. It's kind of like a rally spec. And this one is my basher all-round. Does on-road, off-road, bashing, everything I can think of. That pretty much does it. With the 17mm adapters that I've put on them, it allows me to put on lots of different wheels as and when I want. And if we compare the size difference between those two, there's not that much difference when they're fairly worn in, but when they're fresh, there's a bit of a difference. The tires look a lot bigger, as you can see. Once they wear in a bit, they're not that much bigger. It's just they do have a lot of tread. You can see I've worn out a lot on this one. Hasn't got much left. But yeah, over a year's worth of use and some good use. Lots of high-speed runs, laps. Yeah, it's been brilliant. There are many, many more things and mods that I've put on, different gearing setups, slipper clutch assemblies. I think one of them, I think that one's running a spool right now, since I destroyed the slipper clutch assembly that I had in there. Let's see. I'm trying to remember all these things and it's really difficult for me to do that. Normally I remember by taking things apart and going through them. I should really write them down. But there's the slash combos that I have. Thanks for watching this ridiculously long video, totally unscripted, and clearly you can tell. Thanks for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, and the rest of that lot, and have a great day. Take care, everyone. Bye now.